I never believed in the supernatural, until that fateful night at the abandoned hospital. The air was thick with dust and dread, and every creak of the floorboards sent shivers down my spine. It was supposed to be just another adventure, a chance to explore a place that had been closed for decades. But once I stepped through those rusted doors, I felt the weight of unseen eyes watching me, the air heavy with warning. The corridors were a labyrinth of peeling paint and shattered glass, each room a glimpse into a past that should have remained buried. As I wandered deeper, curiosity battled with a gnawing fear. My heart raced as I stumbled upon a room that seemed different from the rest. The walls were covered in faint, faded scribbles, the remnants of desperation etched into the very fabric of the building. I stepped inside, drawn in by an invisible force. That's when my throat constricted, and my breath caught in my chest. Above a broken mirror, my full name was scrawled in blood-red paint. I felt an icy grip on my heart as confusion morphed into terror. How could this be? I had never been there before, never crossed paths with this forsaken place. The air around me thickened, and I could swear I heard whispers, faint but insistent, echoing my name, Jessica. Jessica. Panic surged through me, igniting the fight-or-flight response I didn't know I had. I turned to flee, but the hallway I had entered was suddenly alien, twisting like a sinister maze. Every turn I took led me back toward that cursed room, a cruel joke played by the hospital itself, as if it were alive and aware of my presence. My heart pounded against my ribcage, and I could feel the whispers wrapping around me, intensifying, each syllable a taunt. "Why are you doing this?" I shouted into the void, my voice trembling. "What do you want from me?" The only answer was a chorus of evil laughter, echoing off the walls. I stumbled backward and tripped over something on the floor, old patient files scattered across the ground, their pages yellowed with age. I hesitated, but the urge to know overwhelmed me. I knelt down, flipping through them frantically, until one particular file caught my attention. My fingers trembled as I pulled it from the pile, my breath hitching. A photograph of a patient stared back at me, a woman who looked strikingly familiar. It was me. The date on the file was chilling, it read today's date, followed by the words deceased. My stomach turned, and the realization crashed over me like a wave. I wasn't just a visitor here, I was a part of this twisted loop of fate, trapped in a cycle I could not comprehend. The whispers grew louder, crescendoing into a haunting chorus of voices chanting my name, each echo a reminder of my impending fate. I bolted toward the emergency exit, my last hope of escape, but as I reached for the handle, the door slammed shut with a deafening bang. The darkness pressed in around me, and I was left alone with my racing pulse and the relentless whispers. I turned back, and that broken mirror caught my eye once more. The reflection staring back was not my own. It grinned at me, its eyes hollow and dark. In that moment of frozen horror, I understood, I wasn't merely an intruder, I was part of this haunting. The hospital had chosen me, and now I was ensnared in its grasp. As the darkness swirled around me, I felt an irresistible pull toward the mirror. Was I meant to stay here forever? My last coherent thought was of escape, but as I stepped forward, the mirror rippled like water, and I felt a freezing cold wash over me. I reached out, my trembling fingers grazing the surface, and the reflection began to shift, swallowing me whole. The last thing I saw was my own terrified face, fading into the glass, a scream caught in my throat. And then, silence. I don't know how long I've been here, trapped in this nightmare. I hear the whispers still, like a lullaby sung in the dead of night. They tell me stories of others who came before, lost souls who wander the halls of this forsaken hospital. I've seen their faces, too, flickering in the shadows. I've talked to them, shared my fears and regrets, and in return, they share their pain. We are all bound to this place, we are part of a collective memory. But today, something feels different. The whispers have shifted, calling to me again. They're stronger now, and I can feel a new presence lurking just beyond the veil, a force that feels familiar. It's as if someone new has entered my personal hell, and the thought sends shivers down my spine. "Who's there?" I call out, my voice trembling. "Show yourself." The air grows colder, and I feel a shiver run through me. A figure begins to materialize in the corner, shifting shadows forming into a distinct shape. It's a woman, her features obscured, but I can feel the weight of her sorrow pressing down on me. "I'm here to help you," she whispers, her voice barely audible. "But you must remember." "Remember what?" I ask, desperation creeping into my tone. "Who you are," she replies, her eyes filled with a haunting sadness. "You're part of this place, Jessica. You must face the truth." The whispers around me grow frantic, a whirlwind of voices urging me to listen, to understand. As I delve deep into memories that feel like shadows of someone else's life, images flash before me, laughter, warmth, but also pain and loss. I see myself in a hospital bed, surrounded by the sterile scent of antiseptic and the muted beeping of machines. I was a patient? I gasp, realization flooding over me. "Yes," the woman confirms, stepping closer. "You were lost in your own grief, trapped by your past. But you can break the cycle." "Break it how?" I ask, my heart racing with a flicker of hope. "Face what happened. Confront the pain you buried," she urges. "But I don't remember." I protest, my voice rising in panic. She reaches out, her hand inches from mine, and I feel a jolt of energy pass between us. "You must. The mirror is the key." The whispers swell, urging me toward the mirror. I can feel the dark energy swirling around me, the sinister pull beckoning me to succumb. "No." I shout, fighting against the tide. "I won't let it take me again." "You must be brave," the woman insists. "You're stronger than this." Taking a deep breath, I summon every ounce of courage within me. I step forward, my hand trembling as it inches closer to the mirror's surface. The reflection ripples, distorting, and suddenly, I'm plunged back into those memories. Flashes of my life spill into my mind, my mother's face, the laughter that once filled our home, and then the darkness that followed her passing. I see myself, broken and lost, seeking solace in this very hospital, clinging to hope but ultimately succumbing to despair. "I was here to heal, but I got lost," I whisper. "You must forgive yourself," the woman's voice echoes. "Only then can you break free." With a surge of determination, I face the mirror, confronting my own reflection. "I forgive myself," I say, my voice steady. "I was lost, but I will find my way back." The mirror shatters, the glass exploding into 1,000 shimmering fragments. I feel warmth enveloping me, pulling me back toward the light, away from the darkness that had consumed me. I hear the whispers fade, replaced by the sound of my own heartbeat, a loud, powerful reminder that I am alive. As the shards of glass fall away, I find myself standing in the hallway of the hospital once more, but it feels different. The air is lighter, and the oppressive weight has lifted. I glance back at the doorway, and for the first time, I see the hospital as it was meant to be, a place of healing, not torment. I walk away from the shadows, the whispers now silent, and I know I have escaped. But as I step outside, I glance back one last time. The hospital stands tall, its doors closed, but I can't shake the feeling that a piece of me will always remain there, intertwined with the stories of those who came before. I take a deep breath, the cool night air filling my lungs, and I walk toward the dawn, ready to embrace the life I had almost lost forever. Subscribe for more full horror stories.